because this story, obviously Puka Nacua became, over the last couple of years, one of the best players in the entire league. Reports indicate that the Rams will not sign Puka, though, to an extension until he's shown that he's matured enough to stop the off-the-field issues.
Yep.
Some have even suggested that the Rams are significantly more worried now than 4 months ago.
Yep.
Probably, I mean, he's in rehab right now as we speak. I do think, Colin, the JSN contract, if you watch the press conference, Mike McDonald and John Schneider specifically, we're not just signing the player, we're signing the person, and his parents did a great job.
Yeah, John, I had a rant on this about a week ago, is that at that position, there is a history of high maintenance. Don't know why. I'm not a sociologist or a psychologist, but that position, I mean, you don't have a lot of guards that give you trouble. You know, there's not a lot of veteran running backs who you can't trust. It could be Tyreek Hill. It could be Puka. There's just a lot of drama at that position. George Pickens. And so when it flares up for any team at that position, the first thing we all do and GMs do is, all right, what's our draft capital like? I can tell you this, is that, and Puka's brother had an incident, and Puka's had several. You're just hearing about the stuff that gets out. There's always a chance there's more. We don't know that, but I've talked about this before. If you see a couple arguing at a party, that's what you see in public. What's the drive home like? I'm just seeing too many things for Puka. That's just what I hear about and see. So I think the Rams do not mess around. They let great players go via injuries or immaturity on a regular basis.
Well, and think about their couple core guys over the years. Aaron Donald, total package on and off the field. Stafford and Goff, you couldn't ask for anything more. So once that JSN number came out, which was astronomical, they gave him $120 million guaranteed. Puka had to get ahead of this because his life was spiraling. I also think we're too quick to go, extend him. Why can't we ever play anything out anymore? If I'm the Rams, one, I could never copy and paste that contract. Even if he comes out, feels like we got to have some time.
Yep.
Let's play it into the season, maybe even the off season. And if you show, we got no problem doing it. You're a great player, but that's a lot of money to invest in someone that you have any questions with off the field.
I mean, ask yourself this. Occasionally, you will see a great player drop in the draft.
Yeah.
And you go
all the time.
Like if I could name 5 receivers, you're like, how did they end up in the 5th or 6th round? When Puka came out of the 5th round, and literally it was day one at practice, Stafford's like, oh my Lord. It did make me think recently, was there stuff out there? I didn't hear about it pre-draft, but he's so gifted and so good. You're going to tell me every team in the league passed 4 times? Like, it does, all this stuff now becomes fodder and it becomes fair game because you're getting in trouble and we're all sitting there because, teams aren't going to give you the inside details. So in our business, it's like, how did he drop to the 5th round? You start looking at people close to him and you're like, I don't know if I could not right now today, in good conscience as a GM, I could not re-sign him. I couldn't.
Well, and I don't think they're going to, but I also think there's been some conversations. Could they trade him? They're kind of all in this year. They just traded for McDuffie. This could be Stafford's last year. I don't think a trade's an option. The other thing is his value. I mean, what's a guy? I understand he had 129 catches. He is currently in rehab. That's not exactly screaming 2 first-round picks.
Right.
So they're kind of in this spot. Let it play out. Let's see if he can mature. Devontae, super high character guy. I think ideally, hey, Devontae, can you kind of even do more? I mean, it's a lot to ask of you. I know we just might have traded you for A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown and Puka might have been a lot in that wide receiver room, so they might have avoided disaster there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's genuinely interesting how nobody is still having the correct conversation about any of this. I already did my deep dive on the rehab situation itself and all of that. I explained my own background working as a counselor at a mental health rehab facility. So I'm not going to go through that every single time. But to me, it's just so clear. Let's depersonalize this whole thing, especially since we're clearly just talking business, right? The reports are saying the Rams are seeking maturity from Puka before committing to an extension, blah blah blah. The business side of this is that this is a win for the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are going to keep him. And the reality is that when everything is said and done, he's probably not going to miss any time this coming season. If we look at past examples of similar situations, that's the trend. And again, to be clear, and I've talked about this before, I don't agree with anything he's done off the field. None of it. I don't want to deal with any of that nonsense. So let's be very clear about this. We're just talking about the business of football and trying to win games. That's all we're discussing right now. That's it. I just want to be very clear about that. If you want a deeper dive into all the other stuff, watch that other video. It's a great video. But I'm not going to rehash that every single time. So, he probably won't get suspended. And if he does, it would be for a handful of games. But he'll be around for the layoffs, right? So either he won't be suspended at all, or he'll be suspended for a few games. And the Rams are obviously good enough that they're still going to be able to win. They're still going to be able to make the playoffs, etc. And this team is obviously all in. Obviously. They're trying to win it all. And the reality is that the fact they can do this without having to commit and tie up money to Puka Nacua is amazing for them. It's absolutely amazing because they can literally go on a run, potentially win a Super Bowl. And then they don't even have to worry, especially if Stafford says, okay, I'm going to retire now, then they don't have to pay Puka all that money. Or especially now Puka has redeemed himself and he's like, look, I won a Super Bowl, everything's great. And then the Rams could say, that's awesome. We're going to move on from you. You go get paid somewhere else and we'll trade you. We'll get capital back. We'll try to regain the draft capital we lost to win this Super Bowl because we have to genuinely hit the reset button. We have to draft a quarterback, blah blah blah. So they'll be able to hit a genuine reset button. Now this changes a little bit if Stafford says, well yeah, we just won a Super Bowl and I'm going to stay. Or you make it to the NFC Championship game and then you lose, or you get to the Super Bowl and you lose and you want one more year at it. It's hard to fully predict. But this just puts all of the power back in the Rams' hand. Right? Look at the Seahawks with Jackson Smith-Njigba, they start to lose that power because he says, I want to get paid. I'm going to get as much money as possible. And they're like, yeah, I guess we kind of have to do that right now. The Cowboys with George Pickens, they don't have the power right now. They had the power when George Pickens was at his lowest and he got traded for essentially nothing. And that's why I said, if you were smart, if you actually believed in George Pickens because you traded for him, you saw value where others didn't, you could have extended him right then and there at a huge discount. You would have said, George, we believe in you. We want to sign you right now. No one else wanted him. The Steelers were like, get out of here. What did they trade him for? Like a third-round pick or something? It was essentially nothing for someone of that talent. And you would have been able to make a good deal on it. But instead now you don't, now you start to lose power. And it's not like I'm saying there's going to be a big bidding war for a guy like George Pickens. But it's just, do you want to win? Do you want this receiver right now? Yes or no? The power starts to get a little messy. And right now with Puka, if Puka was a perfect citizen and had no off-field problems, none of that stuff, the Rams would be in a situation where they're like, whoa, Jackson Smith-Njigba just got paid. Whoa, everybody wants money right now. And Puka would be like, yeah, give me my money right now. And then it backs the Rams into a corner. Now the Rams are like, dude, we can do whatever we want. Puka's not going to be able to stick his chest out and say, do you see what I did? Give me my money. He's not going to be able to do that. And his agent's not going to be able to do that. He's not going to be able to demand a trade. Like you just said, who's trading 2 first-round picks for that right now? It's a mess. So the Rams have all the power. And when your franchise has all the power, you're in a great spot. You really are. You're in a great spot. It's when the players can say, I can back you into a corner right now. I can put pressure on you. You've got to pay me. You've got to do that. Or you've got to trade me. When the team has the power, that's when your team can operate at its best. And this just gives them the power. So, in a weird way, from a strict on-the-field football perspective, it's great for the Rams. Especially because all this other nonsense, Sean McVay and Stafford can get through it. And clearly Puka can get through it as well on the field. It doesn't distract the locker room. It doesn't distract his ability to compete. None of the other random chaos matters. And the Rams will clearly stand by him. The Rams aren't going to cut bait. We're kind of past that time in the league right now where as soon as we hear something that seems like, oh no, it's not good, back in the old days it was like, alright, Evie got to get rid of him. Cut him. That doesn't happen anymore. Now everyone's like, if you're good enough, we stand by him. Everyone's young. Everyone makes mistakes. Blah blah blah. We think he's a great kid. The NFL is going to do its investigation and we respect that. We're going to wait and see what happens. Everyone just kind of says, yeah, blah blah blah. So the Rams are going to stick by him. They're clearly showing they are. Like I said, if this was 5 or 6 years ago and some of this stuff came out, there's a good chance the Rams would have been like, nah, we're done. And then they realized, nah, we're not going to operate that way anymore. We're not going to do that because we can still win with these players and we don't know what the actual outcome is going to be. So we'll make it work until something else happens. And that's the thing. Unless something prominent happens, something big where you're just like, bro, there's nothing we can do. You did this thing. You can't be on the field. As long as he doesn't do that thing, whatever that thing is, it could be a collection of different things, who knows, as long as he doesn't do that thing, the Rams are going to stick by him. He has no power. The Rams don't have to pay him right now. And they're in the absolute driver's seat. What more can you ask for from a team that's going all in? Realistically speaking, out of all the stuff, Puka wanting to play hardball or be difficult and demand all that EY was the biggest obstacle where the Rams potentially lacked power. Now they have all the power. So it's good for them. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Los Angeles Rams and Puka Nacua? Reports like this are just funny to me. The Rams are seeking maturity from Puka before committing to an extension. It's like, oh really? Are they? They want to make sure he can leave rehab before they sign him to a $100+ million contract. Like, oh no way. That's good business, right? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and I'd absolutely love to see you be part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.